is me again, Ruowen Huang. I'm really trying to catch up to my episode. So anyway, bear with me if you think I post too many in a day, but I hope not. Before I begin, let me first introduce myself. My name is Ruowen Huang. I'm an author, spirit coach, and also a psychic. Today, I want to talk about, I obviously got a lot of topic. Today, let's say now I want to talk about the variety of ghosts. The reason I want to talk about it is because I realize it's the same concept as the misconception of soul. Maybe if I can clarify the variety of ghosts, then it will make my future topic easier. So, as our understanding, we think there's only one kind of ghost. I don't blame you because I used to think that too. Until later on, I dig into it, and I mean really dig into it. I start to realize they are different type of ghosts. For our usual concept, believing many, I don't care, of you believing there's afterlife, you most likely believe in reincarnation and all that, that majority of Buddhism concept, right? If you believe all that, you understand, you will assume ghost is like a soul, the form of a soul. Then that's why I clarified earlier, right? And then you look like human and you look ghost-like. Yes, ghosts look like what they were before they die because they have hard time letting go. Because once they let go of that identity, they become soul. Soul become light source. They go wherever they need to go. So they were no longer contained or limited with the form as they were before they die, right? So ghost. Yes, they are ghosts that contain conscious. They are ghosts that contain soul, have a conscious existence. Yes, but they are also ghosts that doesn't have any conscious. That means they are not soul. They are simply a projection or existence that fed by various energy. And now, this particular episode, I want to talk about various ghosts that fed by various energy. First, let's talk about property guardian. I talked about in many episodes ago. If you don't know which one is episode 29, I talked about property guardian, which is the one I talked about earlier too. I know in Western country you don't believe this, but in Asia country they believe every household got a guardian angel that's looking after your house energy. That is in a shape of a form of a people, right? So they are, and I also mentioned this type of guardian is fed by your energy of the people who is in charge of the house. So the personality of that is actually fed by the energy of the people in the house. So those, do they have a personality? Do they act like a ghost? Do they look like a ghost? Yes, very likely. Because they also have that human form, they also have that shape, they also have that personality. So sometimes when you see them, you will think that's another ghost living in your house, right? But there's a trace to look for them. Their energy vibe is different, their color is different, their whole behavior is a little bit different. So they are ghosts that is fed by simply human conscious, because I talk about how powerful human conscious is, right? That means you think, you want something, and then you most likely can manifest that, right? We manifest ghosts too. And of course you say, oh, that's nonsense. How do I manifest ghosts? They are ghosts that simply manifest by your thought toward it, even though you have nothing to do with it. Let me give you an example. Let's say a haunting house. A haunting house got, some tragic happened in that haunted house, right? And then when the tragedy happened, that whole energy, whatever that energy is, it could be trauma, it could be something, then get trapped in this environment. The reason it got trapped is because usually, most likely in that location, got a lot of medium. They are medium that simply accumulate or store energy, such as stone, water, wood, those kind of things, that basic earth element, which also refer to my previous episode, like most likely act as a medium in this world. What they do, they store energy. So in a house, most likely built with those kind of element, right? Some trauma happened, that energy will then get trapped in this building, right? In this building, got stored in all those media that's inside this house. through time, in normal circumstances, people will forget about it. There will be no ghosts. The house will break down. The medium got break down. It got, slowly dissolved, right? So there will be no ghosts. But that's not the case. The case is we like to talk about haunted house. We like to talk about, what happened to that. What tragic happened to that. We continue using our power of thought to feed the energy into that existence to then create a ghost, right? So of course you're telling me what's different between this ghost and that ghost. I mean, for any random people that look at it, they look the same. They look like ghosts. They look human. They're walking. They're kind of scary. What difference does it make, right? How do you know the difference? The difference is when you're talking about a conscious ghost, you can ask them story. They won't sound like a broken record. They can actually tell you what's their favorite color. They can tell you, who they date before, whatever. They can tell you the whole history of it. While you talking to the ghost like that, it sounds like broken record. Why does it sound like broken record? They don't know anything that the human conscious, the power of thought didn't feed into. Let's say, if I've been talking about, oh yeah, that's a girl, named Margaret, he got murdered in that house and things like that, right? And then let's say throughout century, that's all we know. And I don't know how old it is. Or there might be speculation, people know roughly 28 would fit into that, right? So when I see that ghost, would it be able to tell me the name is Margaret? Yes. It would be able to tell me, hey, my name is Margaret. I'm about 25 years old. This is how I die. Why? Because we're using our human conscious continue feeding into it. But would she be able to answer beyond that? Beyond that is, who's your first boyfriend? And it's like, well, what do you mean? You would start seeing that almost broken record, and then it's like, because it's not in that database. So most likely it will answer, no, my name's Margaret. I got killed, I got murdered, blah, 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 blah. I hate people, That's how people continue feeding it, right? Because she hated words, she hated thing. Back then, Margaret doesn't like me to talk about Margaret. But anyway, what I try to say is, if this ghost is never fed, she doesn't have a conscious. She's simply fed by the human conscious, right? So in this existence, never got fed the knowledge that they would not know. So in this case, if you ask her, hey, who's your first puppy's name? It's not gonna be able to answer you because it doesn't matter. I was murdered. Most likely that's what it would be reacting to you, right? So that's one type of ghost. Another type of ghost is simply a projection of your guilt. Things that you did bad before in the previous life, this life, I don't know. But, it's also fed by your conscious. It's also fed by your conscious, but not in very particular way. That is also look like a ghost like, okay? In Taiwan, we call it karmic creditor. Karmic creditor can be live one, can be dead one. Most likely in Taiwan, people talk about the dead one, right? So a lot of time, you go to temple, they say, oh, you get a lot of karmic creditor. If you go through a period of time, you're not feeling happy, everything you do seems to be wrong, and you just have pure bad luck. People tend to go to temple and ask them the cause of it. And then you will hear those, psychic telling you, oh, because you got a lot of karmic creditor following or things like that. Okay, are they lying? No, they are not lying. They do see ghosts around you. But I'm going to particularly saying those particular ghosts is also fed by your conscious, but very particular conscious. It's usually with the bad deed that you've done with or beyond this life. I know it's kind of creepy, right? But that's exactly how it works. So one day I will come back and talk about it. In our soul, we have something called similar to called black box in every aircraft, right? It basically records everything. In regard of your behavior, your thought, you have bad thought towards someone, you have action, you record everything, including the good thing you do, bad thing you do. So when we come to this particular life, And then we might encounter certain circumstances or certain people that we actually encountered in the previous life or something, or any scenario that trigger that memory to actually like turn on the projector. You know what I mean? Turn on the projector. That projector will then project the image of that particular someone or particular event that create the same feeling in me as a ghost, right? So when you talk to them, can psychic see them? Yes. Psychic will see them. As I say, it's all different frequency, right? Depends on whatever psychic can see. Can psychic see them? Yes. Can psychic even have a conversation? Yes. But then again, do they have a soul? No. They are not a soul following you saying, you know, I really want to get my dad back. No. It's simply you projecting your own guilt as a living thing. So the same thing as those existent ghosts that is hunting in the house, they have the same behavior. Is they also sounds like broken record. They also sounds like a broken record. Very often they don't even know their name. Very often they don't even know their name. The other time you ask them when they died, they don't even know. All they remember is what you did wrong to me. Really. Anything else? Hey, what color do you like? They don't know. They look at you like you're weird, right? And then they will almost brush up like, it doesn't matter. They did this to me. And then you were like, no, seriously, let's sit down and have a talk. You know, like, let's have a talk, really. Like, you know, how many family do you have? How many kids do you have? Or things like that. Because why? You know why? A lot of time we do bad deed to people without even knowing who they are. So in our memory, we only remember this is what we do. That's how they should react, right? And our guilt is continue proving that image because based on the karma, the force of karma, eventually we have to pay our debt, right? So because your guilt or your that bad deed projection continue projecting those bad people around you. So when you talk to them, well, they talk to you, right? They actually look like a human or they actually look like ghosts, right? But they're real ghosts, not really. They don't have soul. They also sound like a broken record. So now, is there a way to get rid of them? Well, yes. If you want to get rid of real ghosts, I'm talking about real ghosts, the soul, the best way you can help them is give them blessing and then help them move on. Let it go and move on. Let it go. Seriously, let it go. Let it go. And then they might want to complain, no, you know, it doesn't matter anymore. You die. You know, you help them move on. Then they will move on. To the ghost that is trapped in the haunted house, how do I get rid of them? Understand two elements. One, start feeding the human conscious. Start feeding the story into them and keep them growing. Second, understand they are stored in the medium. Look around what's medium around it. What's the medium around it? That is storage. That's storing the energy that may be when the trauma happened, right? Either clean that or you break it apart. Usually you break it apart, take about 6 months. Then it will all go away. Break it apart. Don't put thought into it. Don't continue feeding thought into it. Then most likely it diminishes around 6 months to 8 months time, right? Or sometimes you're dealing with someone who got greater conscious. Understand, those are actually fed by conscious, a power of thought. If you have someone who can have stronger power of thought, they usually have ability to override the thought there. You know what I mean? That one person, sometimes they have that great power. They can override that thought, and then they can also clear that energy. So could it be done? Yes. In regard of, in Asia, we call, you know, karmic creditor that follow you, that cause you bad luck and things like that. How do you get rid of them? You can get rid of them too. Well, my most efficient way is look into that guilt or greed or, you know, that things that make you feel sorry, like what you shouldn't do, but you do it anyway. Look into that feeling within yourself. Resolve it. If you can seriously look at it and resolve it, most likely they are gone too. So anyway, just so far share with the 3 common variety of ghosts that I see. They all look the same. For any psychic who don't bother to talk to them, dig into them, most likely they all look like ghosts. But I'm just here to share with you, there are a variety of them. So if any of you who encounter them do want to test it, do want to know exactly in what category should I put you into, try it out, really. All you have to do is dig into their story. dig into their story, try to think about outside the story that you already know, then you will be able to figure it out. The ghost with soul will be able to answer you just about every question. Who's your first boyfriend? Where's your first kiss? Where do you have your first kiss? Where's your first dog? What's your first dog's name? And things like that. They're just about to answer you anything. While the other two cannot. Okay? So anyway, if you like what I'm doing, you can always join me live on on Facebook or go to subscribe my YouTube channel or my website at yourwn.com. Till then, I talk to you guys next time. Bye.